Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Heather and this is Create Your Own Cozy. On this week's video, I am going to do more of the 2023 summer release from the IOD sisters. If you missed last week's video, I had a mold, a paint inlay, and 2 stamps from the new release that I used for 8 projects. As I was wrapping up that video, the transfers arrived at my doorstep, and this week I had fun using 2 of the new transfers. In addition, DIY Paint Cottage Colors by JRV are coming out with 3 new colors that will be available to purchase from your local retailer or online June 5th. So I use those 3 new colors in this video along with the new IOD transfers. So if you want to see what I came up with, stick around. So the first transfer book that I'm going to show you is new from the IOD Summer 2023 release. It is called the Seed Catalogue, and it has 8 beautiful pages of these fun transfers that you can use on painted projects or raw wood, jars. Like, you really can come up with some really great options for these. I looked through my stash and just happened to have this guy. I was originally planning on painting it, but after seeing some of these transfers, I really liked the dark wood look. It is a magnetic board, so I am going to just transfer this right on top of here. Going to take off the backer, make sure it is centered, and then just use the stick that comes in each packet to make sure it is all the way down on the surface. Just kind of roll it up. If any piece comes up and didn't stick all the way, you just press it back down and put it together. When you're done with that, you flip this little top sheet over and you burnish it on to make sure it is one with your surface. Since this one right here it has a magnet on it, I'm going to go ahead and spray over the top of this with like a clear coat, just to make sure it doesn't rub off if you use the magnetic part. Then this other piece this is just like a plastic tissue box that I had spray painted white, started upcycling and did nothing with it. So I went ahead and added one of these cute little seed packet transfers, and I'm happy that it is done. This next project is staying with me. Now that I've redone my front porch, I am realizing how much I like watching birds out the little window and just having a pretty area. So I thrifted these each for $4.09. They were raw wood, and I was excited to be able to make them whatever I wanted to. So I used Dark and Decrepit from DIY just as a stain, put it into the raw wood, and then wiped it back so that there was just an older wood look. So I'm going to paint this, and I want to have the darker wood come through, if anything comes through, rather just looking like a brand new birdhouse. So on top of this stained wood now, I'm going to be using the new DIY Cottage Colors. Americauna is my new favorite color, by the way, and this has a top coat already built in. Since this is going to be outside in my front yard, I wanted to make sure I use this new color. These paints will be for sale by your retailers June 5th. So I will be putting mine in my booth on June 5th. And if anyone sells it online, they're going to be allowed to sell them on June 5th. And let me tell you, this Americauna color is my new favorite. Yep, it is. I'm saying it right now. So I just do 2 coats of this. Again, top coat is built in. I think it's going to wear really nice outside. And then I'm going to use the color Blue Hills on the smaller birdhouse and just kind of paint all the wood this color. I do slightly rough up just the edges, but not too bad because I know it's going to naturally weather outside. And now I have a helper who wants to learn how to do transfers. With me? First is we're going to decide where do we want this to go on here, right? So the backing is still on here. We're going to decide where is about the center. Does that look good?
Yeah, that's good.
All right, so let's put this, goes right here. Why don't you take this off and take the backing off. Okay, be careful because once you put it down, it's down. So we're gonna put that around the center, right? That's where my finger is, that we want it to be in the center. And then, does that look good?
Yes.
All right, now I want you to scrape. And we're gonna use it flat. Don't do it like that because that will bend the, so we're gonna do it like this and put your finger on top of here to make it nice and strong. Good girl. Good girl. This is what we're gonna eventually want it to all look like, but I want you to go around the whole thing and no, don't do the corners because it'll, if you use the corner, it could mess up with the wood. Ooh, your nails are dirty. Great. So you will see that I'm about to have a new transfer expert. I just don't want her to bang her hand on that metal roof. And I will let you watch to the end and see how it comes out for her, and she'll show you the place it's gonna live. What do you think?
Good.
Are you proud of yourself? Guys, I think I've had a thing for boxes and crates and these metal lock boxes lately. Whenever I see them, I pick them up. I found this for $4 at the thrift store. I'm going to use the color Blue Hills, painting directly over the metal. That's the first coat, and then I'm going to go on here with the second coat, and I am super happy with the way this paint adhered to this metal. The top coat is already built in, and after this dries all the way, I'm going to be able to put the transfers directly over the top of it. So the handle is in the way with this one, and one thing is, if you rub it on and something does not in here right away, you can just put it back over. So I thought, well, why not be able to cut a straight line and kind of match it up so that I can move around this handle. So that is what I did here. And it is not perfect, but I am super happy with the way it kind of just goes over the handle and the transfer keeps going. I love this wraparound technique where it's just such a fun little box that you can store your important papers or seeds or whatever you wanted to. But it's such a cute little organizational box to add some order back to your home. This next dresser has been in my garage for I don't even want to really think about how long. I got it from a estate sale a while ago for $25. I did sand the top and the edges where there were some scratch marks, and then I kind of just put it to the side. So I am going over this whole thing with Crud Cutter to get the grime off, and as you can see, the finish of this is absolutely failing. It was kind of gross. So I went over the entire thing with Salvation Solution from DIY. It keeps the tannins from coming through the paint, and then also where I sanded down to the raw wood, it allows it to be a similar consistency. I'm going to use the new Cottage Color in the color Crockery. This is not a normal color for me. So with the Cottage Colors, since there is a top coat built in, you need to make sure you stir it really well every time you use it. This is something that is not a habit for me lately. The Cottage Colors go on and then they dry darker, where regular DIY clay-based paint go on and they dry lighter. So I put this on a stick when I first got it, and I really liked how dark this dried. So I am just going, after the Salvation Solution has fully dried, I am going over this. It is going to take 3 coats because I am coloring such a dark color. I didn't have any bleed through because of the Salvation Solution, but I just wanted to make sure it was a nice solid color. This piece was $25 at an estate sale, but it really was old with some drippy, failing varnish, and it really isn't worth it to me to go through and sand this whole thing. I could have done that, but instead I chose to give it a very old time finish. There's the first coat. Here's the second coat. You can see once that first coat it dries, that second coat goes on super well, and then the third coat just made sure it was completely even everywhere. And there's the second coat. You can still see a little streakiness to it, which is why I'm doing that third coat. And that is the magic look that I'm going for. I had been thinking all sorts of colors for this particular dresser. And then when these new colors came out and the new IOD transfer came out, I just really wanted to do this tone on tone, this May Roses transfer. Guys, I am in love. It has this sepia look. Very just, I just love it. This is just my jam. So I am going through all of these transfers. You can put them all together and like this round look, as I'll show you on the back of the transfer book here. Or you can just separate them, which is what I end up doing. After the paint has dried overnight, it is ready for a transfer, and I'm just cutting it up and trying to decide where I want to put it. Now, this is my first time working with such a large transfer, and I do the second one a little different than the first one. The first one, I just lay it over, attach it to where I need to attach it. I do cut the top so it's a nice straight edge, and because this is an old piece of furniture, there is a lot of gap in between, like where the drawers are and where the side is. So it is a little bit rough looking, and I'm okay with that, again, because I did sand down this whole piece and scuff it up to make it look like I didn't just paint it. So I was okay with this old look to it. Where the gaps are, once I do finally take it off, I do sand those spaces with 220 grit sandpaper. And you will see on this one, I just do the surface that's a little bit lower first, and then I peel it back and then do the surface that's higher. You can see this space right here where some of the transfer didn't quite work out right. I just grabbed a scrap from another piece and put it over, and you really can't tell that it wasn't part of the original flower. That's the great part with all these colors kind of being similar. So I just kind of patchworked that in, and in the end you can't even tell that that was missing. So that is something that I built up the whole time I was working. But when we moved to this other edge, what I decided to do was cut it where the drawer ended and then do the other side. I think I like this technique better than just putting the whole thing on there, but sanded each of the edges of the drawers and the side so it has a very similar look in the end. And I am super happy with how gorgeous this project turned out. What do you guys think? Is this something that you have got to go grab? Because I might be getting another one. It is so beautiful. Last but certainly not least is this old luggage that I got from the Goodwill bins, and the lady only charged me $1 for it. She didn't even weigh it. She said it just $1. That is not my favorite color red, so I went over it with one coat of Americauna, you know, my new favorite color. And then here is the second coat. You can see the coverage on this plastic was amazing. So I just did 2 coats of this, let it dry completely, and then ended up using the remainder of my Maze Roses transfer book to make this a super cute upcycled old piece of luggage. You can see right here there was a little bit of wrinkling that happened, and I just rubbed my finger right over it and got the wrinkles right out. So with this one, I used every last piece and layered the leaves under the flowers so that there is nothing left behind, and it looks like it was all made to look like this. what did you guys think of this week's projects? I am in love with the Maze Roses transfer. Both of the projects I did with those, oh, I just love, and I could see so many fun colors pairing well with that transfer. And then with the DIY Cottage Color paint, obviously my new colors, Americauna, is super close to my Apothecary Love, but it has the top coat built in. So those are my two favorite products this week. Let me know in the comments below what you need to get your hands on and if you got inspired to make anything for yourself. Today, as I'm filming this, it is Thursday, June 1st, and I have some exciting news that I am moving from 2 booths into 1 bigger booth. I'm having just trouble in my mind multitasking. I have 3 kids, right? I'm multitasking at home all the time, and I just want to have 1 larger space to be able to call my own in my antique mall. Also, I'm selling paint there, and my bigger booth is super far away from where my paint is. So I am very excited to be able to have my finished painted products along with where I'm selling my paint, so that if someone wants to see an example of that color, it's right in the same booth. So I think this is gonna be an amazing move for me. I have a full day of moving in my head planned. I'm excited to paint some walls and decide this is gonna be my final booth, I promise. Like, I feel like this is gonna be my booth for a while, so I can paint the walls and act like I'm gonna be there a minute. So I'm excited to go get that started today, and let me know in the comments below if you have enjoyed this video. I am gonna work on, listen, it's summer. I need to work on my booth videos too, one thing at a time. So if you are new here, thank you so much for being here. If you have not already subscribed, please consider subscribing. I do DIY videos every Friday at 5 p.m. Eastern time, and sometimes I can throw in some extra videos. We are in summer mode over here with my 3 girls, so we're trying to make some good memories and teach them about small business ownership. So if that's something that interests you, please stick around on my channel. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up and hit that notification bell to all so you get updated every time I upload a new video. Guys, I am so thankful you are here, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.